been going through this transformation. Now from my biggest, I am down 125 pounds.
Like when he looks himself in the mirror and he's posing, does he feel like he's shredded? Does he now realize, you know what? I'm not all that lean. Like when Brian Shaw flexes his abs, does he look roughly like this?
Brian Shaw was talking about potentially doing a bodybuilding show at some point just for fun. I wonder if that's on the table here.
This isn't a bodybuilder physique. He still has a significant amount of weight he'd have to lose, at least 50 pounds, and so he isn't even in striking distance. It is the leanest he's ever been in his life. It's the best he's ever looked, but it's still not enough to be a bodybuilder. Now, there's my comment on the screen. Can you all write down what his body fat percentage would be right now for my upcoming video? The last body fat test he had 40 pounds ago, he was at 17.6% on the DEXA scam. Remember, a DEXA scam. And so 40 pounds ago, when he was 386 pounds, he had 17.6% body fat on a DEXA scam. I said it was 25, and people got mad at me. Oh, you're a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm just speaking facts. You know, he feels lean. He feels like he wants to be at a healthy body weight, but he isn't.
Is much more challenging for somebody the size of Brian Shaw. But I think that's exactly what would make it so interesting to see him do a bodybuilding show.
I wouldn't want to see Brian Shaw do a bodybuilding show in order to place last. I don't think that would be fun for everyone. Being a world's strongest man competitor, being the strongest man in the world, he's used to excelling at being the best of the best, and then to lower himself to entering a local bodybuilding competition and placing last, well, what fun would that be? I would rather see him continue to do arm wrestling. Remember, he's 6'8", long levers. He's very good at this. And so why would he want to compete at something where it's A, not healthy, B, he would have to diet more than 50 pounds off of his frame, and C, he would place last. And so why would we want to do that?
I think it almost is immediately a disqualifier as far as your potential to turn pro in bodybuilding.
I think I'd rather see him play basketball. He's 6'8". I mean, wouldn't that make more sense?
Could Brian Shaw be a bodybuilder?
Nope.
You don't see any veins. What are those?
Those just look like bumps.
Like bumps?
Yeah.
What about, you don't see
You
any?
do look very veiny today, to be fair.
Not bad.
Brian Shaw can now see a vein in his arm, so how lean is he really? Well, I polled his audience. After losing 125 pounds, surely he's shredded. Since his last DEXA scam at 17.6%, he's lost 40 pounds. If he was 17.6% then, I mean, is he now single-digit body fat? He lost 40 pounds of what we hope is mostly fat. He's around 20%. Let's say 25%. 17 to 23%. 23%, and the DEXA scam would probably place him at 12%. He should know now he for sure wasn't at 17% last time. Maybe 23%, and the DEXA scam would say 10 to 12. I have no idea why you guys think a DEXA scan is so inaccurate. It's like plus or minus 2%. Brian is a solid 16 to 17% here. This is just music to my ears when people prove how stupid they are by typing in the comment section. The DEXA scan, it can't be off by more than 1 or 2%. It's impossible, even though even Mr. Mike agrees that the DEXA scam is the DEXA scam after I've been preaching this for years, that the golden standard. Yeah, you thought I was going to say it's my laser eyes. That is number 2. The golden standard is the MRI machine. That is the true leader. DEXA scam is a guess. Hear me out. He loses 40 pounds and his body fat goes from 17.6% to now 16 to 17. If the DEXA scam is so accurate, he's only lost 1% of his body weight as fat, having lost 40 pounds.
3.6, Brian. 15% body fat.
And so what you're telling me, passenger train Shane, is that he lost about 3 or 4 pounds of fat and 36 to 37 pounds of muscle and or water in the last 10 weeks of dieting. And so do you understand now how we have proven yet again the DEXA scan is wrong? He didn't take a DEXA scan, he did the water displacement, and he did a body scan scale thing that they have at the gym. Brian Shaw doesn't even fit in the DEXA scan, but he has previously done a DEXA scan. he never fit in the machine. Did you see that video? But yes, you are correct. The last time he got his body fat tested, it was in an underwater weighing event, a hydrostatic weighing test, which also is not accurate. None of these tests are actually accurate. They're designed to test normal human beings. When Brian Shaw got a DEXA scam, that's right, the scam, he got it. He and the arm wrestling phenom, remember, they got that scam and they tested his bone density, and he was, I believe, 5 or 6 standard deviations of the mean. They said his bone density is as dense as 1.5 billion people. And you're thinking, well, that makes sense because he's the world's strongest man. No, if his bones are more dense and he's doing a hydrostatic weighing test, then he's going to sink a little bit more. The more dense you are, the more you sink. Remember, he's not natural. He's also on steroids. And so the tests that he's been using, they haven't been accurate. And so when he was stated as being 17.6% on various scans, hydrostatic weighing, and so on, it wasn't accurate. He was closer to 25. And so even now, he's still approaching 20%. He isn't 17.6%. He's not 16 to 18%. And if he does another scan, whether it's a bod pod, a DEXA scam, hydrostatic scam, all of them are just going to guess that his fat is a bit too low. I'm sorry. He's still close to 20%. 15% would be healthy ideal. Does he look like he's healthy and ideal? His BMI is 38. Class 2 obesity. And a class 2 at that. That proves he isn't healthy for his heart. Did you think he was? 6'8", 346 pounds. And so if I were him, of which I'm not, and I wanted to live longer than last time, my goal would be to get down perhaps 50 more pounds. If he can get down to 300 pounds, he'll only be class 1 obese. It's better than being class 2, and certainly it's better than being class 3 or class 4 as he was in his strongman days. Remember, strongman isn't healthy. And so, of course, you can use Turk Builder Max. It's not going to lower your life expectancy. It's not going to endanger your health. And if you want to go to Algorex, you may, in fact, want to pick up a GLP to help you to lose weight. If you have class 2 obesity, for example, and you weigh over 300 pounds, it would benefit you from losing some weight. GLPs can reduce the food noise, reduce the cravings, make it easier to follow your diet. Get to the gym, do cardio, take healthy supplements from HDLT Supplements, or you can go to Algorex, where they can prescribe to you medications from doctors, all above board, all FDA approved, and from compounding pharmacies, not this research chemical bullshit that many of you have been getting.
Been going through this transformation. Now from my biggest and heaviest weight, I guess I should say, in strongman, I am down 125 pounds. In this transformation, 40 pounds right now.
What I'm wondering is if Brian Shaw now realizes that that last test, the hydrostatic weighing test, and previous test, the DEXA scams, that they were in fact incorrect. Like when he looks himself in the mirror and he's posing, does he feel like he's shredded? Now that he's lost 125 pounds, 40 of which was in the last 10 weeks, trying to get the leanest he's ever been in his life, which certainly it is right now, and he still can't fit in regular clothing, even the extra XLs and so on, does he now realize, you know what, I'm not all that lean? Like, when Brian Shaw flexes his abs, does he look roughly like this? If he was at 17.6% and lost 40 pounds, shouldn't he now have a decent looking six-pack? I mean, if you're at 17.6% and you lost 40 pounds, would you still feel like you're overweight? Yes, I get it. His starting weight is a lot higher, and so 40 pounds, it's only perhaps a little bit over 10% of his body weight. But if you lose over 10% of your body weight, shouldn't you go from being 17.6% to maybe having abs?
I normally shop at shawstrength.com.
Of course, please shop at shawshank.com. He has a clothing line apparel you can purchase from Brian Shaw, especially perhaps if you are into strongman, if you're a larger individual. These clothes will fit you. Just looking at Brian's face alone, I can tell he is around 18 to 24% body fat as of right now. He does make a good point. His face looks to be in a higher body fat range, but that isn't always from body fat. When you're abusing steroids, aka testosterone, for example, even if it's higher dosed HRT, it can cause what's known as a moon face, where you hold and retain more water. If you look at my old photos, when I frankly was shredded, I had a six-pack, my face was significantly bigger. Now at 50, My face, my jawline, my bone structure, it actually looks better. Previously, when I was abusing steroids at higher doses, remember currently 140 milligrams of test a week. I know many of you don't believe me. I keep reading the comments that I'm lying, but I keep posting my blood work. But hey, I digress. When I was abusing steroids, my face was a lot bigger. Brian Shaw's face is a lot bigger. I don't believe that he's on low doses of HRT. Now, I can't prove it. I'm not going to ask him to share his doses, his protocol, all the peptides, growth hormone, IGF, whatever he might be taking. It's up to him if he wants to do that. But I do believe it would make for an amazing video for Brian Shaw to say, back in my strongman days, these were the abusive doses that I was on, and currently, this is what I'm taking. Kind of like what Mitchell Hooper has done. Mitchell Hooper, whether you love him or hate him, frankly, I love this guy. I think he does amazing things for the sport. He's been open, honest, transparent. He's been telling people, this was the biggest cycle that I've done. This is what I'm taking for the enhanced games. This is what I'm taking right now. I know it's not good for me. I know it's not healthy. I'm going to retire in this many years, and you guys, you should be careful. That is what we need to hear. Brian Shaw, perhaps it's because he lives in the United States. I don't know if he's allowed to talk about what he's doing. I don't know of his sponsors and so on. And so he hasn't expressed very much. But I personally don't think he's on, let's say, 100 to 150 milligrams of HRT a week. I believe he's on 250 milligrams at a minimum and probably a lot more. Very, very difficult to go from blasting gear and being the strongest man in the world and still being a competitive arm wrestler while losing weight. You most likely have to keep blasting testosterone or perhaps other steroids, peptides, and so on in order to keep a 346-pound physique looking as it does. And so I've expressed that he's still overweight, he's still obese, but remember, he has done an amazing job. I want to make sure that you understand that having lost 125 pounds, he's put his money where his mouth is. He is significantly healthier than he used to be. He's going to live significantly longer. Now, is it perfect? No, of course it's not. But since when are we supposed to be perfect? What have I preached in my videos? Halfway there. Has he not gotten halfway there? He was 386 pounds. He has to get down to perhaps 300 in order to be healthy. He's down to 346. He's halfway. Now, I would love for him to keep going, to keep trying to lose weight, but if he doesn't, and he just stays right here, well, he's done better than almost everyone, and so he should be applauded. No, he doesn't still fit in clothes. No, he isn't at his ideal weight. And no, he isn't as lean as he thinks he is, but he's leaner than he was before.
You guys look good. Oh. I mean, it fits.
And so he was actually able to get it along. He's looking actually very good with the matching outfits with the two kids. They're looking like a team. Loving this outfit.
I was able to get it on.
Does it hurt?
No, it's a little.
Frankly, the tightness of the arms, that is one of the highlights. His arm is fitting past the doorway. It is massively huge.
You look so uncomfortable.
A little bit, but that's okay.
If he was to lose 50 more pounds, all of those clothes would fit amazingly well. He wouldn't have the shirts ripping open in the front. His arms would fit in the sleeves, and he would look significantly leaner. He would most certainly have the bicep vein, and his heart, it would thank him the most.
What size are those?
2, I think.
And shirts come off the posing room. He's pulling off the front double bicep. Does that look like a man at sub 15% body fat to you? I'm not trying to shame him. He is leaner than most men. The average man is at 25%. I certainly think he's below 25% body fat, but he's got to be close to 20. This is not 15% body fat, which is perhaps the ideal body fat percentage for being healthy, nor is it within striking distance of single-digit body fat. And I'm certain at 386 pounds at 17.6%, he would have been thinking, I don't need to lose 100 pounds to get lean. But the truth of the matter is, he did. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algo. Please go to Algorex. Don't forget, if you're interested in HTLT supplements, to be an ambassador or to be sponsored, if you're looking to be coached by myself or myself and my team, or to sell these supplements in your store or gym, you can click the link for that right now. Don't forget to watch one of those two bloops, and of course, to pick up your copy of the latest cookbook 3.1 edition to help you with your weight loss journey. And until next time, I am out.